Today we're going to focus on your top 5 referral sources. So, how do you kind of figure out and measure those referral sources? How often are you kind of exercising those top 5 and really analyzing kind of the relationship and what you're getting out of those, and also how you can kind of maximize that relationship as well. So without further ado, I'm just going to turn off the webcam here and we'll get underway. So first things first, if you've been with me the past couple weeks, I can't start the presentation off without mentioning our VERICO Retreat this year. Our VERICO Retreat this year is going to be held at the JW Marriott in Palm Desert, California, which is an absolute beautiful place. If you've never been there, I've been there myself, and it's absolutely fantastic. So we're going to be hosting that September 30th to October 2nd. Once again, at the JW Marriott in Palm Springs, Palm Desert, California. You can find out more information at www.vericoevents.com. Now, we've also extended the $99 registration. So if you've been interested and kind of been wishy-washy about if you're going to come or not, today is definitely the day to pull the trigger. We have extended the $99 registration, and that's going to end at the end of the day today. So if you've been on the fence about whether or not you're going to go, today is the absolute last day that you're going to be able to take advantage of that $99 registration. So I would encourage you to go to www.vericoevents.com, register, take advantage of that $99 registration, and I hope to see you all September 30th to October 2nd at the JW Marriott in Palm Springs, California. So with that out of the way, let's get started and talk about your top 5. I know, a number of you have different referral sources, whether it be past clients, realtors, financial planners, divorce attorneys, whatever it may be. There's kind of a number of different outlets where you can get your referrals from. And that's great. Those are all great sources. But what we're really going to discuss today and dig down is kind of analyzing those relationships and make sure you're getting the most potential out of them that you can. Well, the first thing is, how do you figure out and measure your top 5? And there's many different ways in our business to measure your success. In every business, there's key indicators that you can use to kind of track your success and your growth throughout the year. And your top 5 is definitely one exercise when you're focusing on different areas of your business that allows you to become clearer on where you should be putting your focus. I know most of you probably have more than 5 referral sources, but if you determine, for example, your top 5 measurement and product lines and analyzing your 5 most profitable product lines, it's going to give you great insight on where you need to expand. And then from there, you can determine how your marketing, sales, back-end systems, tools are going to meet to kind of guide that and take advantage of what's going on there. So, it's going to allow you, as I mentioned, to become clear on your focus. Your marketing, sales, and adjustment efforts can shift accordingly if you have a really clear, defined idea of who your top 5 is and where you're going with that top 5. With that said, once you've kind of defined who those are, where you're getting those from, then you can start to replace your underperformers with a new focus. Maybe someone you consider your top 5 when you actually sit down and kind of analyze things isn't performing the way that they used to be in terms of being a top 5 referral source for you. So definitely, the first step is to, definitely you want to track this because it is a great key indicator that's used to track your success and growth. It's going to allow you to really be able to pinpoint where you should be putting your focus on. To maximize your growth potential as well as your financial potential by really zeroing in on who those number 1 referral sources are. So how often should you exercise your top 5? And if you look to the right of your screen, you should see a PDF available for download that's titled Top 5. I'm going to be taking you through an exercise at the end of this call, but if you want to click on that now and download as we're speaking, definitely would encourage you to do so. But the question is, how often should you be looking at and analyzing your top 5? Well, as often as you find it useful, to start with, as much as you deem necessary. At a minimum, I would suggest you review your current top 5 business partner relationships at least once a year. It's a very, very useful exercise when you're doing planning, especially when you're looking at doing a period of intense growth, or you're really looking to kind of, maybe you're looking for a certain percentage of growth in that quarter. Definitely would encourage you then to be looking at your top 5. It's also interesting to do it on more than kind of one key indicator. You can learn a lot about your business by looking at its different parts. So if you normally look at your largest clients, try analyzing things like your best months, your best quarters, your best days, and then see if you can learn something from getting that perspective. So what kind of changes can you expect to making? The biggest change is going to be definitely in your perspective once you start kind of hammering down and really getting to the nitty-gritty of your top 5, because you're looking for a bigger result. So you'll see opportunities where you previously weren't seeing them before. Your current top 5 definitely reflects your confidence and capability within the marketplace. So to increase this, you're definitely going to have to upgrade your relationships, your support structure, your work habits. So you want to really make sure that you have everything, as fine-tuned as possible if you're going to be looking to maximize these relationships that you have, or really to make them blossom and grow. So relationships obviously are the key to increasing your top 5 referral sources and your top 5 business partners. The quality of your client relationships determine the size of your average earnings from your top 5 referrals. One of the most effective strategies for keeping your earnings, from increasing your earnings from your top 5 relationship is to put some specific focus on them. And most importantly, put an increased target on your average earnings from your top 5. This will include prospects, clients, and projects that are going to generate kind of short-term cash flow. Your next top 5, so those are ones that maybe you don't have those super strong relationships with, those are going to represent the relationships and opportunities that are going to generate longer term cash flow. So that's kind of more than 90 days. So prospects, longer term projects, and centers of influence around you. So definitely want to spend some time strengthening your current top 5 and your next top 5 once you've determined who those are. Now, having too many business partners and too many referral sources is definitely going to create complexity, and it can be difficult to determine who best needs your attention when doing so. So your best partnerships are often those tend to be to complain and take the least amount of effort. So if you're being diverted to take care of a high maintenance client, then your best partnerships are probably being neglected, to be completely honest. So, but having the issue there and the problem that can arise is having too few business partners means that your future's in the hands of too few opportunities. So look at your client list, tap into their networks as well for high quality referrals. A gracious and effective way to ask for referrals is to look to your referral partners and say you're looking for people more like them. So, once you've kind of defined who those 5, your top 5 are, have a conversation with them, as you should be doing anyways, and say, I'm looking to expand my referral base. Do you have anybody that I should be talking to? My personality, my work habits, my systems and tools that I've put in place. Who should I be speaking with? Focusing on those 10 relationships, so your current top 5, your next top 5, is definitely a fundamental strategy for achieving your growth in increasing your cash flow within your business. Outline your goals for your internal and external process in terms of support, because if you're really going to be looking to strengthen these relationships, if you're going to be looking to improve relationships with your future top 5, you want to make sure that all your internal processes are down to a science. So you want to make sure you have everything running as smoothly as possible. So when you do get these deals or referrals coming in from your future top 5, that everything is running as smoothly as possible. So that's definitely something I can't stress enough, that you want to make sure that you have all your internal systems on deal processes, etc., as defined and as systematized as possible. So with a support structure, as your top 5 increases their earning to your business over time, your support structure is also going to have to adapt to increase your deal flow. And that's what I'm saying with your support structure, your processes, your internal processes, etc., have to be down to a science and as fine-tuned as possible. You're going to make sure that you have some sort of touch pan in place. I know in the past couple weeks we've talked about things that are available, through BAMP, which is available on BrokerBase, which is a fantastic system if you haven't taken a look at that. There's lots of other great options in the marketplace, but if you're not using anything, I would definitely, as a starting point, would encourage anybody on the call to take a look at BrokerBase and the BAMP program. There's a lot of great touch points that can be sent out to clients there, including renewal notices, mortgage plans, happy birthdays, anniversaries, newsletters. So there's a number of different material there that's all a la carte. So it's something that you can pick up and use right away. And then you can also, add anything you'd like, whether it be handwritten cards, anything of that nature. But you definitely, when you're looking at your top 5, make sure that you have your internal system support structure in place, as well as touch plans and communication plans post-deal. We demonstrated a fantastic touch point plan last week that if anybody wants to email me after the call, I'd be happy to send that out to you as an example. What I really wanted to kind of walk through with you at this point is how to go through this top 5 exercise that we have available to you. So if you look to the right of your screen, you're going to see a PDF available for download. And I want to walk you through how you can use this exercise to move forward and clearly define your top 5 and how you're going to proceed moving forward. So let me walk you through. So in the area that says your current largest check, think of this as your number 1 referral source last year. And the total check is how much they gave you in revenue. So essentially, if they wrote one big check for the year from all those referrals, what would that check be equal to? So in the next box, where it says your dream check, that's how much you'd like to increase your largest check from your number 1 referral source. So, if your current largest check was X amount, what's your dream check from that referral source? How many more referrals would you like to be getting from them throughout the year? The next largest check is the amount where it says the next largest check on the PDF, that's the amount you're going to receive from the second best contributor or business partner. Finally, where it says your minimum check, that's the least amount you're making in a particular area before you consider that it's not worth my time anymore. So that's something you're going to have to think about. That's going to be a different number for anybody, as all these numbers are. But that's what the minimum check number is. So when is it no longer worth your time? And that's something that I know a lot of people can think is a scary thought, because, hey, a deal is a deal, a referral is a referral. But how much time and effort are you putting into that? And is it really the best use of your time and your potential? So let's walk through this exercise. We're going to assume that you're using realtors. So your largest check is the realtor and how much you earned from that realtor last year. So let's say, for example, you got 10 deals from your top realtor and you earned $3,000 per deal. So that makes your current largest check $30,000. So the next few steps are going to make you think very strategically about moving forward here. So I want you to analyze how much business that particular realtor, your number 1 realtor partner, did last year. For this, the best way I would suggest is to sit down and ask them, how many deals did you do last year? Most people are going to be happy to tell you. So let's assume that you found out that realtor did 80 deals. And then so he did 80 Ns, so that's both buyers and sellers. And then you got 10 deals out of that. So out of 80 deals, you got 10. So that's your number 1 partner, and that's really not a good ratio when you think about it. So it's important to know how much business your referral partners are doing. So when you think about it, if you got 10 deals out of 80, that's 12%. So that's your number 1 partner, and you got 12% of their business. So, one thing I would suggest with your top 5 is definitely to do an annual business planning session with them. Sit down on an annual basis at a minimum, if not quarterly. Ask them questions about, what's going on in their business, how you can help out. But most importantly, you want to know is, what do you need to do to move the referral percentage? So if it's 12%, what do I need to do to move it to 20? Have that conversation with someone who's in your top 5 of how you can take it from A to B and how you can move that bar and be getting more business from them. So also, let's assume that your realtor has said that they intend to grow their business by 20%. So they're going to go from 80 deals to 100 deals. So therefore, your dream check in that slot is going to be coming from 20% of 100 deals. So it's going to be a lot higher than we previously thought. So now go through that same process that we just walked through with your next 4 realtors. And it doesn't have to be, just for realtors. I'm using realtors just for ease of conversation here. But you can walk through that process with any referral source, whether it's a financial planner, lawyer, divorce lawyer, whatever it may be. We're just using realtors as an example here. So you can go through this and you can kind of get a global view of what's going on from all your different business sources. As I mentioned, realtors, financial planners, internet, traditional advertising, etc. The key here is to really analyze what you're getting, who you're getting it from, what percentage of total business are you getting, and then how can you work with them to improve and to move that bar so you're getting more business from that specific realtor and really define that top 5. So that takes care of today's session. I hope you guys found it informative. There is the downloadable worksheet. If anybody has any questions on that, please feel free to get in touch with me. I would be happy to walk you through. The goal here in today's session was just to get you to start critically thinking about your business, really analyzing and getting strategic about where your referrals are coming from, how you can maximize the potential from those referral sources, and then of course to take away from that worksheet and actually sit down and work on who these are, who your current top 5 is, who your next top 5 is, and then set some goals around that. If anybody has any questions on today's presentation or how to walk through the sheet, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to have a conversation with you about it. For anyone that's been here the past 3 weeks, thank you for joining me. I hope you found it informative. I think we've put out a number of good takeaways from every call. For those who just joined today, the past sessions have been recorded and we will be posting those. And of course, as I mentioned, if anybody has any questions, please do feel free to reach out. Thank you.